Hey there, Cowboys fan! Let's dive into one of the most bizarre rumors that's been circulating about the Cowboys lately. The idea of Dak Prescott being traded to the Cleveland Browns. Sounds wild, right? Well, that's exactly what Cleveland sports broadcaster Bruce Drennan claimed recently. According to him, the Browns are in trade talks with the Cowboys for Dak Prescott. Yes, you heard that correctly. Now, you might be wondering, where is this coming from? And why should we even take it? Seriously? The rumor originated from Bruce, who, to be blunt, has a rather questionable track record. From serving jail time for false tax returns to making outlandish sports predictions, Bruce isn't exactly the most reliable source for NFL news. So, should we believe him? To be honest, this trade rumor doesn't hold any weight. There are just too many logistical hurdles to consider. First, let's talk about Dak's contract situation. Recently, the Cowboys restructured his deal, turning a significant portion of his base salary into a signing bonus. This move saved the Cowboys over $36 million in cap space. But here's the kicker. If they were to trade Dak now, the Cowboys would incur a massive penalty of $95 million in dead money. That's an absolute cap killer. Additionally, Dak has a no-trade clause in his contract. That means even if the Cowboys wanted to trade him, Dak would have to approve it. And let's be honest, who wants to go play for the Browns? They've been a mess for years, and it's not exactly a team on the rise. Even some credible reporters like Jane Slater and Nick Harris have shot down this rumor. Nick Harris even tweeted that people should do a little research before spreading nonsense like this. Poll. Do you think the Dak to Browns trade rumor has any truth to it? Yes or no? Comment. What do you think about the idea of trading Dak? Is it worth discussing, or is it just fake news? Now that we've debunked the Dak to Browns rumor, let's take a closer look at the financial implications of a potential trade. Because, as we all know, money talks. And in this case, it screams that this trade is never going to happen. Stay tuned as we break it down. Now that we've addressed the crazy rumor about Dak getting traded to the Browns, let's talk numbers. And I mean big numbers, because when it comes to trading Dak Prescott, the financial consequences are absolutely massive. First off, if the Cowboys were to trade Dak Prescott, they would face an enormous dead money hit, almost $95 million. That's nearly $100 million that would count against the salary cap. I don't know about you, but I can't think of any scenario where that doesn't completely cripple a team's chances of making any meaningful moves in free agency or re-signing their own key players. Essentially, it would put the Cowboys in salary cap jail for the foreseeable future. And that's not even the worst part. When the Cowboys restructured Dak's contract, they turned a significant portion of his salary into a signing bonus, which spread his cap hit out over several years. So trading Dak now wouldn't just cost the team a fortune, it would actually give them nothing in return. In other words, the Cowboys would be giving up their franchise quarterback for virtually no compensation. But wait, there's more. Dak Prescott has a no-trade clause in his contract, which means he has to approve any trade. Now, we all know Dak is a proud leader and a player who's invested in this team. Why would he leave Dallas, where he's built his career, to play for a team like the Browns? That would be a huge leap backward in terms of his career and legacy. Again, multiple credible insiders have already shot down the idea of a Dak trade. It simply doesn't make sense financially or strategically. Is Dak Prescott a must-keep player for the Cowboys, or should they explore trades for the future? Comment. Do you think the Cowboys are making the right decision, sticking with Dak? Why or why not? So, now that we've established that trading Dak would be financial suicide, let's shift gears a little. What if the Cowboys did decide to bring in a new quarterback, like Shedeur Sanders? Former Cowboy Dez Bryant thinks it could happen. Let's dive into his bold prediction and see if it's a realistic option for Dallas. Now, we all know Dez Bryant is a passionate guy, and when he speaks, Cowboys fans listen. Recently, Dez made a bold prediction that's got a lot of people talking. He believes that Shedeur Sanders, the dynamic quarterback from Jackson State, could one day be a Dallas Cowboy. But before we get carried away, let's remember, Dez Bryant is a fan just like us, and while his opinion matters, he doesn't have insider information. That being said, his take on Shedeur Sanders is pretty intriguing. Dez believes Sanders could be the perfect fit for the Cowboys, and let's face it, Sanders has a lot of potential. He's got the arm, the poise, and the athleticism to thrive at the next level. So, why does Dez think he could end up in Dallas? Well, we're all familiar with the excitement around the young quarterback, but with Dak Prescott locked in for the next few years, it's not like the Cowboys are actively looking for a new quarterback right now. Still, there's something to be said about the possibility. Sanders is a hot name, and many NFL teams are going to be eyeing him in the upcoming draft. The question is, does Sanders really make sense? For the Cowboys, sure, he's got the talent, but Dallas is committed to Dak for the foreseeable future. Plus, Sanders has shown some impressive skills in college, but transitioning to the NFL is a whole different beast. Still, Dez's prediction sparks an interesting debate. Would you want the Cowboys to draft Sanders, or are you happy with Dak leading the way? It's a good thought experiment, especially with the Cowboys' future in flux after a few near misses in the postseason. Would you want Shedeur Sanders to be drafted by the Cowboys at number 12 overall? Yes or no? Comment. Do you think Shedeur Sanders is the type of player the Cowboys should target, or should they stick with Dak? As fun as it is to dream about new quarterbacks, let's be realistic here. Is it the right time for Dallas to draft Shedeur Sanders, or should they be focusing on other areas of the team? Let's dive into the details of why drafting Sanders might not make sense for the Cowboys right now. Now, as much as we might get excited about the idea of Shedeur Sanders wearing a Cowboys uniform, let's take a step back and consider the reality of the situation. The timing just doesn't seem to line up for Dallas to go after a quarterback, especially one like Sanders. First, we've got Dak Prescott, who's firmly entrenched as the Cowboys' starting quarterback. He's signed to a long-term contract, and with that comes a huge financial commitment. It's not just about performance. The Cowboys have invested a lot in Dak, and it's hard to imagine them turning their back on him anytime soon, especially not for a quarterback who's still developing and hasn't played at the NFL level yet. Secondly, Sanders is an exciting talent, no doubt. He's got the arm strength, the leadership, and the ability to make plays outside the pocket. But let's face it, the Cowboys aren't looking for a quarterback project right now. They're looking for players who can step in and contribute immediately. And drafting Sanders would mean taking a chance on a guy who might not be ready to start for a few years, a luxury the Cowboys can't afford at the moment. Think about it. The Cowboys have pressing needs in other areas. Wide receiver, offensive line, and the defense all need attention in the upcoming draft. Using a first-round pick on a quarterback when they already have Dak just doesn't seem like the best allocation of resources right now. Additionally, other teams are going to be looking at Sanders too. Some of them are in desperate need of a quarterback and could very well prioritize him ahead of Dallas. So, while it's fun to imagine a future with Sanders in the fold, the reality is that he's not likely to be the right fit for Dallas in the short term. Should the Cowboys focus on drafting a QB or improving other positions in the upcoming draft? Comment. If the Cowboys don't go for Shedeur Sanders, who would you want them to target in the first round? Now that we've broken down the reality of drafting Sanders, let's focus on what the Cowboys' future really hinges on. Dak Prescott. Is Dak the guy who can lead the Cowboys to a Super Bowl, or does Dallas need to make some bigger changes to get over the hump? Let's dive into that. At the end of the day, the Dallas Cowboys' future rests on one key figure, Dak Prescott. He's the face of the franchise, the leader of the offense, and the quarterback who's been tasked with guiding the team back to Super Bowl glory. But with the pressure mounting and, the expectations only growing, the question is, can Dak Prescott really lead this team to a championship? Let's start with the positives. Dak has proven time and time again that he has the skill set to succeed at the NFL level. His arm strength, mobility, and ability to read defenses make him a solid quarterback. He's had some great moments in the regular season, and with a solid supporting cast, there's no reason why the Cowboys can't make a deep playoff run with him under center. However, as we've seen over the past few seasons, Dak's biggest challenges have come in the postseason. While he's shown flashes of greatness, the Cowboys have often faltered in key moments. Whether it's turnovers, missed opportunities, or struggles against top-tier defenses, Dak's ability to perform in the clutch has been called into question. Can he be the quarterback who elevates his game when it matters most? That's the million-dollar question. But it's not just about Dak. The Cowboys' success will also depend on the improvement of the surrounding pieces. For Dak to reach the next level, he needs help. The offense needs to become more explosive, with better weapons at wide receiver and a more dynamic offensive line. And let's not forget the defense. A defense that can hold its own and give Dak a fighting chance when it counts. Under Mike McCarthy's system, Dak has shown growth, but there's still work to be done. We've seen Dak take big strides in his leadership abilities, but he'll need to keep improving, especially in those high-pressure moments. Building chemistry with new playmakers like CeeDee and ensuring consistency will be key to taking the next step. The road to a Super Bowl is never easy, and it's clear that the NFC is stacked with teams like the Eagles, 49ers, and others, all of whom will be vying for that same title. It's not just about Dak's ability to lead, it's about the Cowboys as a whole being ready to contend with those teams. Can Dak lead the charge in what promises to be a tough conference? His leadership and ability to rise to the occasion in these crucial moments will make or break the team's chances. And then, of course, we have the upcoming NFL draft and free agency to consider. The Cowboys still have areas that need improvement. The wide receiver room could use a boost, the offensive line needs to be solidified, and even the defense could use some reinforcements. While the quarterback position seems set with Dak, there's a lot more work to be done if the Cowboys want to push for that elusive Super Bowl victory. In the coming months, expect Dallas to make some key moves. Whether it's through free agency or the draft, the front office will need to give Dak the tools he needs to succeed. The team has a solid foundation, but to get over the hump, they need to build around Dak and make the necessary adjustments. Do you believe Dak Prescott is the long-term answer for the Cowboys? Yes or no? Comment. What are your biggest expectations for Dak Prescott and the Cowboys this season? So, as we wrap up this look at Dak's future and the Cowboys' prospects, we've also touched on the ridiculous trade rumors and Dez Bryant's bold prediction about Shedeur Sanders. The truth is, Dak Prescott is still the guy, and while speculation is fun, it's crucial to focus on building a complete team around him. Thanks for staying with us through this breakdown. Stay tuned to Cowboys News TV for more updates on all things Cowboys. We'll keep bringing you the latest on Dak, the draft, and everything in between. As always, we want to hear from you, so make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments and hit that like button if you're excited for the future of this team.